This is not going to be a full-on rant, but, welcome back to the Keanu-thon. First off, today talking about and reviewing Something's Gotta Give, 2003 romance comedy which stars Jack Nicholson. You also have Diane Keaton in the film, Keanu Reeves, Amanda Peet, Frances McDormand, John Favreau, he's in it for a little bit. And, while I got a couple of chuckles from Jack Nicholson early on, but for me, this film just loses steam real fast. And, clocking in at almost 2 hours and 10 minutes. Yeah, way too damn long. When it comes to romance comedies, there's a few that I like. The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler, that's a great one. 50 First Dates. Father of the Bride with Steve Martin, that's a good flick. The Proposal with Sandra Bullock is fun, better than this. It's just, this movie, again, just goes on way too long. But, to get the story out of the way first, you have Jack Nicholson, his character in the film, Harry Sanborn, 63-year-old, and he's this like executive that works for this music company or a record company, and he has a reputation for dating, girls half his age. His girlfriend, played by Amanda Peet, her character in the film, they go to this beach house for the weekend, and that's where her mom, Diane Keaton, shows up with Frances McDormand. And of course, things get a little awkward because, Jack Nicholson's this old guy, a DILF, sugar daddy, what have you. And again, things get a little awkward. And soon enough, Jack Nicholson has a heart attack, and he goes to his doctor, who's played by Keanu Reeves. And Keanu's like, hey, you need to take it easy for a while, lay back, relax. So from there, goes back to the beach house. Diane Keaton sort of babysits Jack Nicholson. And soon enough, they start to develop a relationship. And where Jack Nicholson, they kind of fall in love. But it's like Jack Nicholson can't make up his mind at times. And so, there's some competition there because at the same time, Keanu Reeves wants Diane Keaton. And Amanda Peet's doing her thing. And so, a little bit back and forth there. And, it's a story pretty much. But, again, this movie... What is that? But... yeah, Something's Gotta Give. I wish it would give me my 2 hours back. Again, Jack Nicholson, if Jack Nicholson wasn't in this film, for me, this film would be, just nothing, a pile of nothing. Like, Jack Nicholson, he holds it together in this film. I got a couple of chuckles from Jack Nicholson early on, but that's like within the first, 30 minutes, 45 minutes or whatever. There's a scene where, after he has his heart attack, he's in the hospital, and Keanu's like, all right, I'm getting ready to put nitroglycerine drips in your, in the tube, and he's like, did you take any Viagra? Because, Viagra, if combined with the nitroglycerine, it would, it could have fatal effects. And at first, Jack Nicholson lied about it. And then when he told him that, he freaked out and he starts taking all the tubes out. And then, like, later on, you have a scene where Keanu would tell Jack Nicholson, hey, if you can climb a set of stairs, you can have sex again. And that's where you have Jack Nicholson. He's at the beach and he's looking at the steps. And so, I mean, again, there's a couple of chuckles in the film from Jack Nicholson, but that's all within the first, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, what have you. There's a scene where Jack Nicholson is walking around in the house like 2 o'clock in the morning and comes across Diane Keaton naked. So you see her whole front, like Diane Keaton naked. from all the way down, and don't know if you needed that in the film. But, and I don't want to spend so much time talking about this movie because again, it's such a long film, and that's what, when it comes to this film, it's just way too damn long. Again, clock it in at almost 2 hours and 10 minutes. And, how I've mentioned before about, romance films, of course you're going to have moments where it's mushy and stuff like that. And, I mentioned that with Sweet November, but, this is way too long. This is, you don't really care for the relationships. I mean, again, Keanu has a thing for Diane Keaton. Who really cares about that? Like I said, if it weren't for Jack Nicholson, if he wasn't in this film, to be, this is a pile of nothing. I know Diane Keaton was nominated for Academy Award with this movie. I don't see it, to be honest. Same director, Nancy Meyers of The Parent Trap, which I like that film. That's a better movie. She directed The Parent Trap. And it's funny because I was looking up reviews for this film and someone described it as a sex romp for seniors. And I can see that. I mean, this is kind of, like you have a couple of scenes in the film where, and it's PG-13, so it's not going to go that far. But Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton would have sex. And it's like, I don't want to see that. And there's even moments where, Keanu's making out with Diane Keaton. So Keanu has a thing for, the MILFs in the film. Or, cougars, whatever. So, you got that in the movie. And for a while, it seems like Amanda Peet's character, was really nothing and didn't really add much to the film. I don't mind Amanda Peet, but for a while, her character just disappeared. I don't know, I keep hitting my desk. But I don't know what else to add. I mean, there's not much to say about this film. People like the film. If people like the film, that's fine. I guess a 6.7 on IMDb. And it made some money in the box office. I mean, the budget was around $80 million. It made $267 million. So it made a little bit of change. And I don't know. I mean, good cast. I mean, again, Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton, Keanu Reeves, Amanda Peet, Frances McDormand. She's in the, in the film for a little bit. Jon Favreau. He's in it, but doesn't have much to do. And yeah, so I mean, it's just one of these films that saw it, but don't. I don't need to rewatch again, to be honest. But that's what it is. I mean, if you really think about it, it's pretty much a sex romp for seniors. It's a lot of, especially in the last hour and a half, what have you, because it's way too long. Where Jack Nicholson wants Diane Keaton wants Jack Nicholson, but Jack can't make up his mind. He wants the younger ladies, and Keanu hitting on Diane Keaton. Amanda Peet disappears, and this and that, and this and that, and all the comedy just seems like they, all the comedy went away after the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and that's the only bits of comedy that you're going to get in the film. Again, is, the, Viagra scene where he's in the hospital, and then this one part where he's looking up the steps at the beach, and because his doctor told him if you can climb a set of stairs, you can have sex again. So, he looks up the staircase, and you got that song, you can try if you really want. So, I mean, a couple of scenes don't make a movie, and this film is an example of that. I mean, so that's my review of Something's Gotta Give. I can't recommend. I know what, some people will say, well, this isn't your genre anyway. And, that's true, but I've seen better films. I've seen better romance comedies. That's not, over long. That's not 2 hours and 10 minutes, but that's my review of Something's Gotta Give. Wasn't for me. But next up for the Keanu-thon, I'll be reviewing and talking about Thumbsucker from 2005. So stay tuned for that and have a good one.